are on the way to a girl.
Oh, how nice. Hello.
Just a single shot.
I was gonna say.
There's some friends that are stuck. Yeah, because they can't, the connecting flights can't get anywhere.
Are they in the bottom? See, here's the good thing.
They're in one of the smaller places, but they still, everything's connecting through, and they're like, we're not going to the airport, we're not doing anything.
We got into the habit, I haven't done it for a couple of years ago, but we got into the habit of going to Apple vacation, they fly direct out some other place that was going. And it's so easy. You leave at 7 o'clock in the morning and you're there at the beach at 11 o'clock.
I have 58.
Doing my hour clock.
Well, then you can go by the clock, you can do whatever you like. You're the guy in the girl.
Can I really send it to me?
That's up to you.
Time for our meeting to begin. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tina's gone to
She had surgery.
She had her knee.
Oh, that's right. So, welcome to the meeting today. Let's see. We have to approve an amended agenda, and the amendment is putting a presentation on there by our auditors. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve the amended agenda.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
It's really hard to hear you. Sorry, guys.
Oh,
Is your mic on?
it's supposed to be on. Is that better?
Yeah.
Say what's chest.
It's on.
Okay. All right. So we had a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Voice vote. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? None. Okay, going on from there, the consent agenda, can I get a motion? Well, we're gonna do the presentation.
The audit presentation.
Right, presentation.
Alright. I don't know if this mic's on or if it needs to be. Or I can just talk loud, either way works. So I did have a PowerPoint, but I'm told there were some technical difficulties, so I believe you guys all have one of these in front of you. If you don't, I'm happy just to walk through the statement too, either way. Totally fine with me. So we conducted the audit as of June 30, 2025. So I'm Matt Vreideveld with Vreideveld Hafner. We conducted the audit June 30, 2025. We got it issued in December this year. There was, as you know, some turnover here, so it made things a little bit trickier, but we worked with your staff as well as Plant Moran that you guys have brought in to help with that stuff and able to get it wrapped up, no problems. So we'll start off on page 1 of the audit. It's the most important page, you might say, because this is what you pay for an audit for, and that's our opinion. Second paragraph, page 1, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to present fairly in all material respects. That's good, that's a clean opinion, that's what you want at the end of an audit. And then next we'll just I'm just going to hop into a few of the, I guess, highlights of the statement and the finances throughout the year. So first we're going to start off pages 11 to 13. Which is the government-wide statement. This looks more like what you would expect to see at a business. If you do have that slideshow, this is that first slide, expenses and program revenues, governmental activities. On that slide there, you can see it's showing the different functions of the government, the different activities of the government, I should say, and then your expenses and then your direct revenues related to that. Essentially, it's telling us how much of your general revenues, which is predominantly property tax, we'll talk more about that in a second, is being eaten up by each function. As you can see, there's public safety takes up a pretty good chunk of that. That's right in line with what we see at most cities this size. On the next slide, that breaks down your revenues by type and the activities there. As you can see, the largest portion of your revenue, or 43%, is your property taxes. And then your other consists of, you had a lot of your investment earnings with the high interest rates you guys are taking advantage of. And then there was some contribution from the TIFA in there as well. So that makes up that 15% and other. The rest of them are nothing too significant or different from prior years. Should be fairly used to seeing most of that. Now we're going to jump to page 16, which is the fund statements. This is more like what you'd be used to seeing at your monthly meetings or bi-weekly meetings. And then you can go to the next slide as well. They're general fund revenues. So really nothing too crazy. This slide is showing you 5 years of revenues in the general fund. You got your taxes, your state revenue, and then other. As you can see, tax revenue increases. That is due solely to an increase in taxable value. Properties get more valuable. They pay more tax. Not due to an increase in rates. State and other, nothing too surprising or shocking there, so that's good. Go to the next slide. There's just a 10-year chart showing your property tax revenues. As you can see, you can tell when the real estate market started going really well in about 2022 there, and they've been increasing pretty steadily over the past 10 years. The next slide, spend a little more time on. This is the expenditures by function in the general fund. It's showing 5 years for each function. As you can see, public safety is the largest. That's right in line with what we're used to seeing at cities this size. There was a jump in public safety this year. That was due to an extra contribution made to MERS to catch up on pension values for your pension funding. Other than that, again, no surprises. It's what we like to see. On the next slide there, we have your general fund balance as a percentage of expenditures. You guys have a policy to keep that above 30%. You guys were sitting right at about 36%, which is, again, right in line with a city for your size. That's a good healthy fund balance for you guys to maintain. Next slide is breaking down. This would be your proprietary funds. So this is going to be page, if you want to follow along on the statement, page 19. So I don't have a lot to say about the proprietary fund. I was talking with Dan about it earlier, and you guys have revenues that are higher than your expenses. The thing that you need to watch with both your sewer and your water funds is making sure that you're essentially building up enough for future capital projects that you'll have upcoming. And as of now, your sewer fund and then on the next slide, your water fund are both looking like they're in good shape. They're operating, they're making money, which is good. That's what you want. So that's the end of the slideshow there. One more thing I wanted to touch on is on page, or two more things I should say, on page 20, you have the cash flow for your proprietary funds. Just worth pointing out, your increase and decreases in cash, sometimes that can be a better way to really understand how your operating is going, or the operations are going for each of those funds. And then lastly, and then any questions from you guys as well, but on page 47, so way in the back, we have the budget to actual fund, or statement for the general fund.
Or you all have a copy of this.
So I just wanted to point out there were just a few budget overages. I know that there was some turnover right around year end, which some stuff can get lost in communication when that happens. No significant overages that the state's going to be concerned about, but just something to keep an eye on in coming years. But overall, your expenditures did come in $327,000 lower than you budgeted. It's always good to see. Other than that, I'm here for any questions that you guys may have. Anything I did talk about or anything I didn't talk about that's in here.
I have a couple questions, I guess.
Perfect.
One of those is in your cover letter. You say currently there is not a process in place to verify the marina revenue. It is recommended that management implement a process such as comparing daily use reports showing which slips were used each day, and so they can be verified for proper amount of revenue collected.
Yes.
Did that come about, that observation come about because of a specific event this year?
Not necessarily from anything this year that I'm aware of. It came about more when I went to look at the revenue. We usually look at it more from an analytical standpoint. And based on the number of slips, the number of days in the season, general knowledge that the boating season was fairly good weather that past summer. It was just kind of it didn't make sense. So then I started digging a little deeper, and then that kind of came about that there was really not a good way to verify your daily marina revenue.
If you remember 3 years ago, there was a theft in the marina.
Yes.
Any reason to believe that's what? We have no way of knowing, right?
Right. So they did at the marina change up some of the processes and procedures as far as I'm aware after that was discovered. So like they're no longer were accepting cash. Is there a way to verify that something did or didn't happen under the table? There's really no way to know. So that's kind of why that came about, was just to encourage the city to increase the internal controls over the marina.
Yeah, I would imagine Dane's gonna do that.
Yeah,
Right?
it's verifiable. Just I can look on DACWA this season, see what we show as rented, and just go down there and if there's somebody in a slip that isn't registered on DACWA, yeah, we have an issue. Sorry, DACWA's the new app we're using for reservations.
On page 60, 60. Is there, page 60. Where's the $300,000 that was given to Helmet for site prep? Shouldn't that be on there, on that page?
It does seem like it. Was that money all coming out of the LDFA, or was that partially out of the TIFA and
Well,
partially?
I guess that's part of my question. It should have been out of the LDFA, I would think, because it's, that's where the project for Helmet is.
Yeah.
Well, that's also in the TIFA district.
I don't think the
But
part of Halmet is in the LDFA. I
Isn't
think
it?
I think it's a
the
TIFA.
industrial park is the only thing that's the LDFA.
Oh, I thought the part of that was, okay.
Yeah, 'cause I thought
So
that,
then it should be on the previous page.
yeah, I thought that amount came out of the TIFA, as far as I was aware, which there's more than enough expenditures in the TIFA to make up that on page 58.
Okay. Okay. On page 58 again,
Yeah.
the, let's see. The grants and contributions are 156,000 and change, 1,056,000 and change. Is that all from the stabilization money?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so, but yeah.
Okay. Is that the right place for it to be now? It's always been there as far as I know, but does that have to be there, or can that go into the general fund?
So in this year that it covers, I mean, this is ended June 30th
Right.
of last year, so it's the right spot now, yeah. And as far as capturing that money in the form we have to fill out to the state,
Mhm.
it's still, we're gonna have to fill it out on behalf of Tifa. It's still, nothing changed with that, it just, Tifa agreed to use that money to pay for the capital improvement bond.
Okay.
So it's still gonna pass through Tifa.
It'll still go through TIF.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll
That's-
just be, an expense is gonna be like 750,000
Yeah.
To the capital bond.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I thought it would have to come out of somewhere else.
It's
So-
still gonna pass through.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll show up then as a revenue on the general fund.
All right. That's good. Thanks. That it?
The only question I had was the first one you asked, so that's been covered as far as the marina went.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are two things for the public safety jump. It was additional funds to MERS and then a subscription for body cameras was on this fiscal year. So that's why it looked like a $200,000 jump. We should be near fully funded for the retirement at the end of this fiscal year. So that'll be good.
A rarity.
All right. If that's it, then I'll go to the consent agenda. Need
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Good working with you guys again.
Sure. Sorry about that. So then the consent agenda, and I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda submitted.
Second,
Discussion?
I have a few questions on accounts payable. Let's see here. First one is on page 104, CatchMark. I've never seen it written that way before. I don't know if there's something that's changed or not. There's a setup and a live stream committee meeting for 150, and then the monthly council meetings have been on there for 300. Is there an additional meeting that we're recording now that is for 150 that,
That's the TIFA meeting.
Yeah, Tifa.
okay,
Yeah, that was added as a
Oh, yeah.
additional coverage.
There was a bit of a lag on
okay,
when we got the invoice.
okay, that was my first one. Second one is, the thing right below that on, I know it's not a lot of money, but what is ChatGPT subscription?
I have no idea because I pay that out of my pocket. I don't know. I know what it is. It's a subscription to AI, but I don't know who did that. So I have no idea.
I think that's on the, I think that's in the Playhouse section of the budget, if I'm not mistaken. What was, my last question was, I didn't understand, on page 4 or 5, there's two different, people's names listed for tax collection refund or something like that. I just didn't know if you could explain to me what that is. Cause I don't know.
That was my question too.
Current tax collection fund. It just says accounts payable. And it looks like we refunded two different people. their property taxes were. But I guess I'm just asking why we did it, or,
I'll get you an answer.
okay, that's all I had, let me see, yeah, that's all I had on anything in this section.
I had a question in the communication part. In the, what's this called, the lawn irrigation systems and wells. It says there on the third bullet point, it says water
I don't know
service.
where you're at.
What's that?
I don't know where you're looking.
Oh, in the communications, the last of the attachments, I guess.
That's for the DLAM stuff.
Oh.
Cross connect.
Oh, yeah, Don's actually gonna speak to that.
Okay.
No, I had him down as, refer to Don. When it was my turn to talk.
Okay.
Must be why he's here today.
So that's my answer to that.
Well, my question was just on that is there gonna be a Trine and Newhoff rep going around, because that sounds pretty expensive, if that's what that means.
So it's all covered through DWAM, drinking water asset management. We've got about
Okay.
$200,000 we need to spend by June or July, and it's part of that.
Okay,
Actually, Don, let's just go down.
Alright. What that is that grant funded drinking water asset management plan. And what we're doing is we have to start reporting to Eagle more about our residential cross connections and what's coming into the basements of people's houses, what type of material the water line is. So we're gonna use Prine and Newhoff as an avenue to send out these postcards that are gonna go out to a select number of people that we are really unverified at what's coming into their basement. So we can verify, know what we have in our system, and know the amount of lead services that we actually need to replace within the next 10 years. So this is just a start to this program. They are gonna send a rep or two. I think we're sending out about 450 of these postcards to select people. And so you'll get a knock on your door. They want to just go in and verify the material that's there is all it is. We're also going to use this as a stepping stone forward to a cross connection program that Eagle is also going to make us start reporting on for irrigation services. That's the part you had highlighted.
right.
For backflow prevention, to make sure that we keep our water system safe. No back siphonage from homes back into our system. So that's what the program's for.
But we can't buy stuff with it. It's gotta be part of this.
Yeah, it's just assets. Asset management is all it is. So
Right.
we have some new programs that we're starting, and this is just kind of the kickoff to it. So
Well, I noticed, I don't know what it was we got last meeting, I think it was in the same thing that rated the roads as,
Oh, Pacer rating?
yeah, wasn't there another one that said something about which lines were lead and, you know, it was color coded.
we have an idea on a lot of them, but there are still a handful of unknowns.
I
That
mean,
we
my
need to
whole block
verify.
of my road said it was all whatever the latest stuff is. But I can guarantee you from that meter to my house is probably the original line, because I have absolutely no water pressure. It's gotta be.
And that could very well be, and that's what this program is out there for, is to try and verify this. What was once hooked to lead, what is still hooked to lead, what we need to actually replace under Eagle's no lead program, and so this is getting us a jump start. We've already started that program and started some replacements, but this is going to give us a better idea of where we stand.
You think you're gonna run into any problems with, you had the old saying from our parents here, you never let anybody from City Hall in your house?
We may run into that, you never know. If this smiling face shows up at your house, just let me in. I'm a nice guy.
I mean, I would like to know that, you know, what mine is, that, you know, because I've been thinking about replacing it myself. If I have a sprinkler from a hose running outside and I flush the toilet in the house, it just dribbles out the end of the hose. I have absolutely no pressure whatsoever.
Yeah,
And
there's
I'm
a lot of
figuring it's
different
probably
things
because
that,
of all the buildup that's in the pipe.
And that's
there's a
what
lot of
this
different
is.
things that we need to look at and verify, and that's what we need to do. That's our goal.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion on the consent agenda? All right, the voice vote, all in favor of approving the consent agenda, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? All right. So then we got messages from the mayor and city manager and probably not Don anymore, right? And the council. So, you had anything, Dan?
I had cross connect motion to Don. Today we had the Muskegon Avenue kickoff meeting with Brian Newhoff to start planning on that road rebuild. So that one is water and road, so pretty extensive project. And bids close or open on Thursday for the North Roads, the northern part of Lake Street, and the industrial park. So I'll have a plan together, hopefully start getting some roads fixed as soon as the asphalt plants open up in April. And also we're getting the parking lots, all of our parking lots resealed, just preventive maintenance. That bid opening is Thursday as well, so.
Couple things, question if I may. Curb and gutter or valley or whatever we call that, other one where we don't use curb and gutter on those?
For Muskegon?
Yeah, any of the, either of
A
those.
lot of it's gonna be valley gutter.
Okay, so I kinda figured. So.
Yeah,
And we're still gonna use that new mix, right, that we like so much instead of Michigan fall apart mixes that we
yep.
make. Good,
So we're in the very early stages of planning, so.
yeah, I just wanted to see where that was and what we were doing with that, so.
What don't you like, so I can just write that down?
No, so we actually, it's been a few years, so just to explain, because there's new members on council, we actually looked and, like my driveway, if you go down my driveway, the first 2/3 of my driveway is the old mix, which is smaller stones. Well, then some engineer somewhere came up with this new Michigan mix, and the Michigan mix essentially is bigger stones, which allows water to go through to the roadbed. Great in theory until it ices up, and what happens with ice? You go from water to ice, it expands and it breaks your roadway up. So we decided way back when we first did Division Street as a test street, that section between Wesco and, was it Alice?
Alice.
That was done with that new mix, and the new mix, the only issue with it is it's stickier and it takes a little time to set up, but that section of road compared to some of our others that we've done in the past has really held up well, so I just wanna make sure we continue to do that. And essentially what happens is the water runs off to the side of the road versus through the road.
Okay,
So,
gotcha. Do that then.
good idea.
Debbie, how about you?
Well, I just touched base with Tanya. She had her knee surgery yesterday. She's doing really well. She said everything went well, and I'm sure she misses not being here today. So, just wanted to pass along. She's doing well. The second thing, we've been getting a lot of requests for funding different projects, and I'm in favor of the projects and certainly want to help where we can. I would like to see us put some sort of policy and give us some parameters for how to judge those and assess how much we can give. Should we set a limit? Should we put a bucket like we're doing for the facade grants for the different areas? I just feel like we could start a slippery slope if we start getting a lot of people requesting money. It's probably a good idea to put a policy around how we go about approving that. Dan, do you have thoughts about that as well, or am I?
Right, no. Yeah, we're on a run here of getting requests, which it's good. People want to do good things, and I think combining efforts is good. But I guess as a council, for ad hoc, or is there some sort of policy that can endure that you'd like to see developed?
I would like to see a policy and maybe as part of the budget, not just ad hoc coming along, because I don't know if we have, X dollars to provide now, and then somebody comes next week and they have a great idea and a project, but we don't have any money, so I would like to see it, one, a policy or a process around that, and two, is it part, and make it part of the budget, and if it's, we put a bucket of money aside, I don't know how much, and then we say, here's, this is, we have this much money for, donations and things like that, and then when the money's gone, we have to wait till the next budget cycle. It just feels like we could get out of control if we don't have some sort of parameters around what we're doing with those donation requests.
I think it's a great idea to have it as part of the budget. Just have that pot, and when the pot runs out, that's what it is.
Well, it's definitely a lot better than having to do budget amendments every quarter or whatever, because, you know, you gave $4,500 here and $3,000 there, you know, whatever, it just, if we do it in the budget, then you don't have to do as many budget amendments. I don't like budget amendments.
Yeah, I get it. Stuff comes up, and like you said, they're all good ideas and well worded for the city supporting. It just, I think, budgeting can get a little bit cumbersome if we constantly have budget amendments. So, yeah, I can develop something and send it to council.
And then I guess to that end, is it of value to keep the ones that are requesting now until budget, but we're working on the budget in the next couple of meetings, aren't we?
Correct.
So you guys can
Good.
weigh in on that, but might be worth just, because there are a couple of requests for funding on the agenda tonight, so is it worth putting that policy together so that we go forward on an even path, or start after that? I'm not sure what the right answer is, but
I think stick with the agenda today is good. It's, there. Maybe set it up more for the following fiscal year, or because as spring starts, people are trying to get things moving. So I don't know. I don't want to hold up progress.
right.
But
Okay.
I totally agree with you. It'd be a lot easier on staff.
Well, the other thing is, it's important to balance that against, we could go too far that way to where we don't get projects done in our parks that we want to do too, I suppose.
We just happen to be closing on a land sale on Thursday, so.
Oh, goody.
Well, I'm not talking about the city's expenditures on maintaining parks and improving parks. I'm talking about when people come and ask for funding for projects that they want to do. I think they're working on for their projects, we've had a few. The water fountain, which is, that's great. The smart buoy, those just come in and it's great, but I think we need some parameters around it so that we can fund as many as possible, even if it's not fully funding.
I agree, we need something. It should just, to me, it should just be part of the budget. I don't know how to come up with what the bucket's gonna be, and,
I can help put something together, and when we're doing budget discussions, we'll talk about it a little bit more then.
We recently had that request for money for an informational sign down by the bike path, by the railroad bridge too. So there are a lot of these things coming up.
That's all. Thank you.
Right?
Well, as always, I was just on vacation and they had 2 different times where the water was shut off. And when I come back, I never really worry about it here, so I always thank the DPW for plowing or keeping the water running and the lights on, etc. But you guys do a great job here. Thanks, Don.
Thanks, Brent.
Scott?
Yeah, I got a question, but I'll wait till afterwards. It's for the chief. So I was just wondering if we don't happen to have a radar gun, do we?
We actually do.
We do?
So, like a handheld radar gun?
Yes. I just, if we didn't have one, I was just wondered if you had any idea how much they cost. I'm sure everybody has to be certified to use it, and the unit has to be certified.
Yep.
All kinds of different stuff like that. But I'd like to see us start cracking down a little bit more on some of the more main roads about on speed. I know I've seen the cars out, But when the car is actually sitting there, because the radar, unit is mounted in the car,
Yes.
I mean, you can see that, you got a chance to slow down. Where if the car's sitting back off the road and there's just a guy standing out there with a gun, you're gonna be able to catch a lot more people. I mean, I can take anybody and put them in my car and either start at Wesco and go out of town, or start at the top of the hill and come in town, and drive 2 or 3 miles an hour over the speed limit, and probably get passed by at least 90% of the cars on the road. Especially on Colby Street. It's not quite as noticeable on Mears or on Warner, because you just get the people tailgating you. But and I walk my dog a lot in the wintertime, and up on Peterson is pretty bad too. I mean, I can tell you for sure up on Peterson, some of them are going 45, 50 miles an hour.
Get out of my way.
Huh?
Yeah.
Is that the speed limit up there? I just something to throw out there, plus it would create revenue for the city. I would prefer our city be like Montague. Montague's pretty much noted for, their speed limit on most of their city is 25 miles an hour. And you might go 29. If you go 30, I think they're gonna give you a warning. And if you go 31, they're gonna give you a ticket. And I would rather be known for that way than just letting everybody do what they want. That's all I had.
Jeff?
A couple things. Did you want to mention junk pickup?
Oh, yeah. I forgot to write down. No, go for it.
I don't remember the date,
Okay,
but junk pickup is coming back, folks. So
the week of April 6th.
No,
I'm glad Dom's here.
March 30th.
March 30th, like I said.
April 6th.
I forget. I won't be here then.
And spring break.
Yeah. So that week, it gives everybody the weekend, and that's the beginning of a week where we're gonna rent dumpsters. DPW will come by, pick up curbside junk, and dispose of it on everybody's behalf. So nobody will have an excuse for not getting rid of their junk.
Are there limitations on junk?
Yeah, we're gonna have published limitations, no hazmat and no pianos.
Cars?
Within reason,
Probably
There's
no
a
tires.
list of things that the dumpster company will not take, like tires, and I'm gonna put together a post to be put out on Facebook that'll have that list on there for everybody.
That's great.
So you said no on the tire?
No on the tires. They'll charge us $15 a piece for every tire that's in that dumpster.
What about taking those? Do they take them out to? Do they still recycle them out at the?
We have to pay to get rid of them.
Even though we're part owners of it. That's silly.
And they're finding more and more things to recycle tires into.
Yeah.
I just saw one.
I just being more part of that organization, it's kind of silly that they charge us
Yeah.
to dump at our own place. So,
They're even making sidewalk panels now
Yeah.
out of recycled tires. I just saw a couple days ago.
And the other thing I have is a goal session. Are we still planning on doing one of those down
Yes.
the road here?
I think it's next month, beginning of the month,
All right.
Before
I got
one
it
of the
in my
meetings.
phone.
before the meeting. Yeah. I'll send that out and make sure it's posted as well. For all of it.
It's on the 10th.
That's it. We're bringing in, there'll be 2 facilitators coming in to help us out with that.
I guess it's up to me. There's been a lot of talk lately about the condition of the building that the senior center is in over in Montague. And a lot of gloom and doom kind of talk over there. Well, I went to the board meeting a week ago Saturday, and Jeff Auk, the city manager, spoke about it. And he has already talked with with Lyson Vandenbrink engineers about that building. And he has a report from them that shows they can fix that building for somewhere in the range of, the back wall, which is the main problem. They can excavate behind, below it, and put in helical piers, and for only about $50,000 to $70,000, they can stabilize that building. And then there'd be probably about 15,000 in masonry repairs because of the way the building is shifted and so on. But that's a really good deal. They're a really good thing. There's following that, and they expect to have that done in the next 1 to 3 years. Following that, there's a couple of other projects they can do on the building, but they're not abandoning or tearing down the building, and the seniors are not gonna have to look for another place to go. So I see that as a real positive thing. The only other thing I had was, I just say that I'm really thrilled that we're gonna get started on roads. That's such a big thing. The other thing that I had is, I met a woman at the back yesterday, and she asked me a question I didn't know anything about. She says there's about 3 or 4 garbage services here in town. And so there's trucks going down the street more often than not, almost every day, she says. And she brought up the question, would it be a good idea for the city to negotiate a contract, the best one that we can get, with one service? And that would save every day from being a junk day, and also would save wear and tear on the streets by the big junk trucks. So I just wanted to ask council if they got any opinion on that.
We just had that, we just talked about that like 2 years ago.
That discussion, that
And-
discussion was had and decided not to over
Yeah.
a couple, 3 years ago.
There was quite a bit of opposition from the public about it. Everybody wanted to be able to choose their own, didn't want something shoved down their throat that they didn't want. And so, that's not saying that, you know, if you explain to people that part of the problem with the roads is, you know, $40,000 or 40,000 pound trucks are running up and down it, you know, every day, you know, maybe it might make sense to look at it again, I don't know. But, you know,
I think it's worth a discussion, again, just to, you know, see if there's any new, different thought process. I know we had a long conversation about it a few years ago, and there was a survey, and there was a lot of emotion around people not necessarily being able to choose. I mean, people are paying for their trash pickup. So there was some discussion, is there a possibility for the city to pick up some of that piece of it and contract with, you know, maybe it's not just one of them, maybe it's all, however many there are, and each one gets a section of the city, because that was another one that they didn't want their trash hauler to lose their jobs. So, I don't know, maybe there's opportunity to revisit and look at it with, you know, from different angles.
discussion item for another work session.
My initial thoughts was the first I really thought of it, but if the city were to negotiate, just figuring out who's the least expensive per household, and then we know everybody's getting the lowest price, and go about it that way. Each company can bid, and best price wins. What do people have to complain about?
Discussion?
I mean, there's, you know, I know a couple of years ago, I'd had the same one for, you know, probably almost ever since I lived in my house. But they, you know, they aren't in business anymore. They sold out to Kurtz, I think it was. That's who I have now. And, you know, I guess I was kind of opposed to it then because that's who I had always had. And I never had any issues with them. They always picked up my garbage, and it didn't matter whether I put one can out. You know, most of the time I had one can, but there were times when I put 3 of them out there. And they never charged me more money or anything else, so. You know, I still think it's something worth looking at.
You want to make should we set a work session at which to talk about that?
Send it to the agenda,
Yeah.
work session agenda item.
Next thing we got tonight is public comment, and remember should be limited to 3 minutes and be It's not to be a time to ask us questions, it's not a conversation time, it's mostly just express what you want to tell us and we'll listen. So if there's anybody that wants to talk, now's the time.
So, hello everyone, my name is Dayton Pax. I'm the secretary for the White Lake Community Garden. So first off, I just want to express my thanks in approving the agenda to vote on our proposal for the coming years today. My main reason of coming up here tonight is just to state our preference for the duration of the land lease at Slocum Park. So we request 5 years. I know there was some discussion on that last meeting. And I'd just like to reiterate our reasoning for why we would like 5 years. So the first of which is just to provide our donors a good sense of assurance that we're using their funds wisely and that they'll be long lasting. It kind of goes into the second point in that our infrastructure, things like fencing and irrigation, it'll take some time to have some ROI on those, right? And then lastly, it'll take some time for the garden to go from just surviving to a thriving garden, which usually takes a few years. So if any of you have any questions throughout the meeting, let us know. We'll be in the audience for the rest of the meeting, but thank you.
I was gonna tell her when I saw her walking in that she wasn't allowed to bring weapons.
I know. Is this
Good,
on?
turn it on.
Do you want it on? I can talk pretty loud. My name is Erin Pyre. I am a Whitehall resident. I live just down the street. While I'm up here, I do want to say I'm in favor of the community garden. My daughters and I were some of the watering volunteers last summer, and my daughter will often say, "Can we go down to the garden and just play?" So, thanks for doing that. But I am also the director of the Arts Council of White Lake, so we are on the agenda later for the sailboat trees restoration support request. Mostly I want to say I have a bunch of stuff if you want to see it. This is a paint sample of what we are trying to achieve with the new paint. So I'm happy to explain that. I have pictures from when Sailboat Trees was installed back in 2010, so you can see how much the color has deteriorated on that sculpture. And then I guess just lastly, I want to say, that sculpture is in Colville Park. It's a part of the City of Whitehall, and I think, frankly, it's the most iconic piece of public art that we have, and so I'd like to be able to take care of it. So I hope the city is in favor of that, and we are here as well to answer questions. So thank you.
Anyone else today? All right. Old business. We have on old business the facade grant program.
Yep, I mentioned this at the last meeting, and I put together a program. It's based somewhat off of the TIFA version. It includes our commercial rehab district. And I recommend the amount be $6,000 by $5,000 just because stuff's more expensive. And I recommend starting with $42,000, and that'll give us up to 7 grants this year, and then see how it goes from there.
How does additional money get put in there?
Through the budget.
Through the budget?
Yeah, and I think this next 4 months will be a good test bed to see if it's worthwhile to keep or not. And if we don't like it, or I don't know, for any reason we don't want it in, we just not put it in the budget.
I mean, with TIFA's capturing money, and with this, we're not capturing any money.
Right.
So
It's simply out of the general fund.
and there's not, I don't think there's a whole lot of businesses along there that, I mean, there are a lot of businesses that might be able to use it, but,
Just some signage would improve a lot of it too.
Yeah, signage, and like I had to put the ADA in, I mean, that's huge, there's a
Yeah.
ton of stuff that is not compliant, and they can use it for that, so.
Yep. I'm glad
That, that alone would probably,
Yeah, incentivize people to,
Yeah.
or businesses to make their business ADA compliant, actually 6,000 to help them, push them that way.
Yep.
No, the city's.
or at least help them out.
Yeah, I think it's enough to have somebody make a decision on whether they're gonna or not gonna do something. I mean, if they can get a free $6,000 from the city to, improve the looks of their building or make it ADA, more ADA compliant or whatever, I don't see how it's a loss to anybody.
Well, it's a match. It's not just, it's
Yeah.
not just write the check, so they, there's a equal piece of it, so it's great. Yeah.
So this could be in future budgets, like part of the, how much are we gonna, we as the city support different initiatives, just take it out of that same pot, and that'd be the money, that we're gonna make anyway.
And they're still not saying that we can't have that out of two funds.
I'm sorry?
There's still nothing to say we can't have that out of two funds to meet that pot.
Correct.
You know, you have the TIFA pot and you have the other pot, and they just they mirror each other, so. Just gives us two opportunities to have funds available.
We had the other bigger program, would they be mutually exclusive, or would you be able to use this one along with the 10-year?
So the
activate?
commercial rehab district is specifically out of Tifa. It's
Okay.
just to the east of Tifa. So this would have included, I think, gnarly heifer when they were
Yeah.
applying. They wanted Tifa money, but they were just out of the district.
Is not something we can vote on tonight, is it?
So I was just gonna make it a minute vote, because I'm setting the money aside from a land sale, and I just do a roll call vote, put it in minutes. That'll work.
Like a motion,
Yeah.
and if you guys are ready, or we can do it next time, whichever way you want.
Be fine with me. Somebody wanna make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the facade grant program as presented.
I'll second and support.
Any more discussion on it? I think we're done.
Okay, do a roll call. Holmstrom?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Mahan?
Yep.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Zeman?
Yes.
I'm sorry, who was the second on that?
So then we move on to new business. First up is Resolution 2610 Marina Repairs.
I'll move resolution 2610 marina repairs, to repair docks and handrails as needed. That's our needed, I should say.
Second that.
Any discussion?
I have a couple of questions, or a question and a comment maybe. Is this money for doing this project coming out of the Marina Fund, TIFA Fund, or the General Fund?
The Marina Fund.
And is it part of this year's budget, or the budget
It's
we're
gonna
in
be an
right?
amendment for this year,
Okay,
because I wouldn't feel comfortable renting some of those slips without getting this done first.
that bad, huh? Okay, I haven't been down here in a couple of years, so. Okay, that's all I have.
Was this partly input from the Marina Board? Was there any Marina committee involved in that, or is that just what Public Works is interested in or wants to do, or whatever?
The handrail was discussed at length
Yeah.
at the Marina Board, and that's the most expensive piece. I mean, he's even asking for a pretty significant down deposit to even order it, because it costs that much money.
Is that gonna be steel, plastic, wood?
Steel,
Steel, okay.
steel and concrete.
Okay. Done with discussion? Okay. This will have to be a roll call.
Okay. Mahan,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes,
Holmstrom,
Yes.
Zeman.
Yes. Moving right along. Next item is Resolution 2611, Muskegon Avenue Engineering Design Bid Selection.
Okay, we received 3. Brian and Newhoff, I forgot a U in there. Avon Marsh, Fleece and Vandenberg. We worked with Brian and Newhoff quite a bit, and they came in a lot lower than the other 2.
Yeah. Both of them.
60,000.
I'll make a motion to move 2611 to discussion. Go forward for approval.
Your second.
Yeah, a second.
Okay. All right, any discussion on this?
I do have one question, that being new to the road, there's $100,000 swing in bids. What is contained in A that is not in B?
Frankly, I don't know, other than.
So that's a valid answer. I mean, just like, if they're the same exact thing and it's that much cheaper, yeah, but I'm just like, oh.
One of the things Scott used to say when there was big variations like that was it depends on how much business that company already has
That's
lined
what I was
up.
wondering. And also,
You know, if they're already, you know, almost at max for that time of year, they'd have to subcontract everything. So
I don't know what the difference in distance is too. That would make a big difference. Probably would be my
yeah,
guess.
I've
I
never
don't know how far in Livingston we're going versus Muskegon.
So Muskegon's length, and
So it'd be from
Brian and Newhoff does have a little bit of better understanding of our road system and just our systems in general. So I think there's less legwork that they need to do.
Okay. I wasn't questioning what they were doing. I was just like, that's a lot of variation.
Yeah, I got it wrong.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. Roll call.
Okay, Brown,
Yes.
Mahan,
Yes.
Holmstrom,
yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes,
Zimmer.
Yes. All right then, Resolution 2612, the Livingston Street Engineering Design Bid Selection.
Okay, same thing, with Livingston, I'm not necessarily ready to pull the trigger on this. I just, once I get notification of funding, I don't want anything to hold it up, because if we can get any part of it done this year, I'd like to. Even if we have to break it up into north and south. Preferably the south first, because then we're doing Muskegon and Livingston at the same time, and because they have that one intersection. So that's the goal here.
So you're talking Livingston from the gully to the school.
Along with Muskegon around the same time. Hopefully save a little bit on like moving costs and inspection costs.
Anybody else? Okay, roll call
we
then.
have to make a
Oh,
motion.
I thought we did.
Yeah, need a motion in a second.
Sorry.
I'll make the motion to move 2612 for the design bids to approval.
I'll second.
I still have to ask for the discussion, so if there's any more. And apparently not, so the roll call.
Okay, Brown,
Yes.
Holmstrom,
Yes.
Mahan,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes,
Zimmer.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Resolution 2613, the White Lake Community Garden.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution 2613, the White Lake Community Garden Support Request for 5 years,
I'll second.
and all the items requested, including the seasonal restaurant, ADA seasonal restaurant.
Good. That's
Sorry, who
been
seconded?
seconded too? Okay.
Okay, discussion on that?
Yeah. All I had down was to make sure, on our paper it says standard portage on, and I wanted to make sure it was ADA compliant.
Okay.
I know they cost a little bit more money, but we need to set an example in the city that we're willing to step up, so.
because my only hesitation is the portage on itself, are the bathrooms here are we able to use those? Is it something that, you know, cause DPW is gonna have to maintain that porta john, no? No what?
No,
The company that we rent from maintains them.
Oh, okay.
they have all kinds of different programs of how often they can, you know, they'll come and check on it or clean it or whatever, depends on what you wanna pay for.
Well, and that's part of, right, so that's, we're paying for that, right? So,
I mean, you can, you know, they probably have one where they drop it off June 1st and come and pick it up, you know, November 1st, if, you know, and never do anything about it, you know, they're gonna be their cheapest rate.
there's gonna be a
Or,
lot
or
of
they have,
kids and
where they,
people,
you know,
can't
they
be-
come and do
it's
it
gotta be
weekly
clean.
or,
Yeah, no, it's gotta be clean, so as long as it's maintained, I'm happy. I just wanna make sure that,
Yep.
you know,
And they can put it against the wall so it's not so visible to the public as well. So I would think.
yeah, Don's still here. What's, not gonna be any big deal to run more, they want, 4 other spigots put in. That's
Yeah,
not,
that'll
not gonna
be-
be any kind of a big deal, is it?
No, that'll be simple. The only thing that I would like to do this year that we didn't do last year is put an actual water meter in rather than a spigot meter.
Okay,
That way it can be removed, and we'll get obviously a better idea of water usage, but last year was very minimal.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's gonna be an issue, but I think that's just the better route to take.
On that porta john, would they have to drive the truck across the grass to get to it? Where is that gonna be located?
And it depends on where you wanna put it, I guess.
Right on the back wall here, and then go pull right down the asphalt driveway and drop it. Essentially, well, not
I
this
don't,
wall,
I don't think
be
you
the
want
back
it
wall.
out by the parking spots, out by the road.
No, I mean they could put it right up against the old the east wall. Yes, yeah, east wall. Like the old library wall.
Yeah, and I think
There's-
the sidewalk on this end of the building is ADA accessible right
Yeah,
there too.
yeah,
so
there's a thing
handicap
there.
spot there.
Yeah, I'm just worried about wind protection, and that makes sense to put
Yeah.
it against the wall.
My preference would be to use to do it only for 1 year or 2 years. And, or otherwise make it very revocable. Revocable.
I like the idea of 5 years, having to develop, as one of his big points was, to put all this in and to do all of it and to get it going is not instantaneous, and you wanna make sure that you know that you have that same thing for next year. And 5 years is still really a relatively short time, but in developing a full garden, it's a good chance to see how viable it will be with their volunteers, and they can reassess over that time also. So I think that 5 years is a much better idea.
I don't have any problem with the 5 years. I wouldn't wanna go any further than that with it for right now, though.
So, Will reminded me, it's a permit we're issuing, and there can be caveats in the permit if you're not following rules, just like we would with a gazebo rental, we can revoke it. I don't expect this group to be wild and have parties or anything out there.
It's also
No, but
But that's why I left it empty, because we can modify what we want in this resolution.
And my request in the resolution is 5 years.
I do.
and a clean and maintained porta john.
ADA.
Yes, of course, that.
There's some big trees there, but, anyway. Okay, I guess it's a roll call vote.
Okay, Holmstrom,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes,
Mahan,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes,
Zimmer.
Yes. Okay. Last item is resolution 2614, the Arts Council support request. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2614, the Arts Council White Lake support request.
I'll second also.
All right,
and
discussion.
then also, so.
So my comment is I do believe the city has a Cobble Park fund that is managed by the Muskegon County Community Foundation. I do believe that is the city's fund, so, I would think that would be a good spot to see what they have available, cause I know it's X amount of dollars a year depending on, the market and all that, and, at least put a dent in the request, from them out of that. I don't remember what last year's was, what they had available, but I don't think we.
That's,
So I could, if I
Please do.
may, so from my understanding, and Jane's on that board, so she maybe will help. So the White Lake Community Fund has a Coble Park Fund. Those grant funds that we have already received is from that fund. So the 6,500 that we already have. If it's a fund that's held at the foundation, that's the one we got grant money from. Now, if the city has a separate fund, I don't know.
That's strange, because I was always told that that was the city's fund and they managed it for us, for our use, so,
Maybe there's another one, but
I don't know,
No, there's not.
there's not,
That's what you're talking
that's
about.
interesting.
The last time it was used was for the,
Scope, wasn't it?
the vernacular, or
Mhm.
whatever.
And that was the city's request.
I can't verify that.
Yeah, I don't know, I'd like to see how that is set up, cause it was my understanding that that was the city's to use as they saw fit down there as a request. And they have a private, and I'm not saying that's a bad idea, but as a private organization comes and requests money on city property for something that belongs to us, cause I do believe that was,
Sir,
yes,
can I speak?
yes.
I'm Jane Hannah, I'm one of the board members for the Community Foundation. That money is given to the Community Foundation of White Lake, and we are directed to use it for certain things within the Whitehall area. I don't believe we get your permission to do that, we do that as our board, because you've given that money
I thought
to our
that,
foundation.
okay, I thought that fund was a specific fund that was set up for use in Coble Park alone.
It is,
Okay,
absolutely,
okay,
you are
all right.
correct.
Okay.
But the Whitehall, your group doesn't have any say in it anymore, sir.
but can we request?
Over the last 20 years I've been on council,
I'm sorry,
I don't
Well,
ever
it'd
recall that being done,
It'd be
but.
the same thing with
Yeah.
the Edna Bloomdahl.
Yes, I know
They did-
I know she has one too.
Yeah, we have quite a few of them.
Yep, I've wrote a lot of grants to you people over the years for
Great.
ambulance and fire,
Appreciate
so
it,
I
we
know.
love spending your money.
Exactly.
One of my
I just,
favorite jobs.
like I said, I just want a clarification on that before we approve this to do that wasn't available as well.
But it's not saying that the city couldn't request money from the fund.
Unless it's been tapped,
You are,
it's already tapped.
you're already,
because it's only,
Well, I don't know.
it's only
I'm
the
just
interest,
asking.
isn't
I
it,
don't
that
know.
every year that's available?
well,
that's correct.
from my understanding, so Janelle Mayer had said, so we requested 6,500, and from my understanding, that was 2 years worth of what was available. So we received the grant in 2025.
Correct.
So if there's another approximately $3,000 available in 2026, maybe, but that's a question for Janelle.
And the market.
Yeah.
Let's see how good it's doing.
And the city has already asked for another grant already from the Community Foundation for this coming session.
That is not in the Tifa district, is it?
It is not, no. We originally approached Tifa about this, and then we realized it's not in the district.
So our funding would be coming out of the general fund, or would it be
Yes.
coming out of the parks fund? Which,
It could come out of Pathway, but there's only like $8 grand in that
Yeah.
one.
Pathway needs some work, so I don't think you'd want us to do that out of there.
What's your budget?
Yeah. My other question with it is, the person that's planning on doing the works, or your organization, I don't know which one it is saying that it's gonna extend the life of that by 25 to 30 years, and my question is, are we getting any kind of written guarantee on what it's gonna, how long it's gonna last? I don't, particularly care to be spending taxpayers' dollars when you're saying it's gonna last for 25 to 30 years and say it only lasts for 3 years and it needs redone again.
I'm not, I can certainly ask, I don't know the answer.
The original sculpture was powder coated, and it's not a material, the sculpture's not made out of material that allows powder coating to last. And the material that Greg's going to use is, where's,
I have the whole paint spec if you wanna see that too. but-
So the new stuff is more durable than the
Oh,
powder, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so
Cause
it's,
let's face it, that area down there, I mean, you look at the light poles and you can tell what
Yeah, I mean,
what's happening.
It's all weather.
Oh, it's all weather.
so it's first, if you want, I mean, here's my sample, right? So this is your rust inhibitive primer, and then this is an epoxy primer, and then this is the final, and that's 3 coats of a 2-part catalyzed polyurethane. And this looks bumpy because they just painted it with a brush. It'll be sprayed on, so it'll be smooth, and then it'll color match to the original color, not what's out there now. That's all faded. So he continues to tell my coworker that it will outlive her. So,
That's pretty great.
but I mean, I can certainly ask him that.
So the original coating that wasn't designed to last lasted 16 years,
Correct.
and so this one's designed to last.
Correct.
So, some basic assumptions.
Yeah.
And 3-part.
Gonna get at least 10 years out of it.
Yeah.
Probably more like 20.
Yeah.
So, sounds great.
Right. Yeah.
And powder,
Yeah,
powder
powder.
coat isn't
Yeah.
the very same world.
I guess the only other thing to throw out is what Deb was talking about earlier of, do you wanna do this now and approve it, and then it has to come out of the general fund, or you wanna wait until we do the next budget?
Do we
I know they don't wanna probably wait.
The
They
problem
want-
is they got
Yeah,
a grant already for it,
Yeah.
so.
I just as soon go forward now and then start our new
Start
process
the
with
new
the new budget.
process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Good.
Mahan,
Yes.
Kilgore,
Yes,
Brown,
Yes.
Holmstrom,
Yes.
Seaman.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you so much.
So then the next thing is public comment, second time around tonight. Anybody wish to speak?
Ladies first.
Hello, my name is Kathy Russell, and Scott, thank you for mentioning the speeding on Colby Street. As a manager at the Hokey Pokey, I see cars peel out from that traffic light, and I know that at some point, someone is going to be injured. And I don't know what the chief can do, but we gotta do something, because the speed on Colby is extreme at times. It's usually right after work, when people are ready to go home. So hopefully something can be addressed and we can deal with that soon. Thank you.
Oh, good. Good evening. My name is Ken Joyce. I'm the secretary for the Garden Club. And I would like to thank you for making this vote in action so we can start working as soon as we can melt that snow. And secondly, excuse me, regarding the garbage pickup program, I would love to see it consolidated to one vendor and maybe incorporate composting with that as well.
Okay.
Any questions for me?
You can bring
I will take donations as soon as we get our 501(c)(3).
Thanks for your
Thank you.
comments. Anyone else? Okay, well, I think we're at the end of the meeting, so say God bless Whitehall, and we're